Hey everybody, welcome back to myRE360's Be Your Own General Contractor. My name is Adonis Lockett, and in this module, we're going to be discussing building your team, the foundation of you being a general contractor and managing your own project. So as part of starting the process to successfully build your team, we have an entire myRE360 education series on how to effectively and efficiently build your team. So if you want to get into the real granular details of how to successfully build your real estate team, log on to www.myRE360.com, click in the education library, and start watching myRE360's How to Successfully Build Your Real Estate Team. Now, with that said, there are a bunch of ways to go about finding your vendors and subcontractors needed to successfully build your team. So I'm going to make a few recommendations on the best place to find the subcontractors and trade services you need to successfully build your team. You can start with the myRE360 vendor search feature. There you will find every vendor type that you need to successfully build your team. You can sort through different investment clubs where a lot of vendors may attend that want to promote their service. You can also ask for referrals from other investors. Now, a great source to finding a good subcontractor is from other investors who can vouch for their work or that company. You also want to ask other vendors if they can refer subcontractors or trade services that they have worked with. So because a lot of vendors interact with each other on a project, they typically will exchange contact information if one needs the service of another. So that'll be a great place to start in regards to asking your current subcontractors to refer out other trade services that you may need to complete your team. So what does a full team consist of? So I'm going to just name some of the more common subcontractors, vendors, and team members you will need to be your own GC and successfully manage your own project. First, a home inspector. You want to have someone on the team that can tell you everything that's wrong with your home. You next want to have a roofer. Very often, if you're buying a distressed house, there may be roof issues and you don't want to go to the commercial market to find a roofer. You want to have a roofer on your team because an investor-friendly roofer may have different rates and fee and costs than a commercial roofer. And depending on what state you're in, you want to have a good foundation repair company. Now, there are some states where foundation repair are a major thing that costs tens of thousands of dollars. And other states, foundation repair is a dime a dozen, meaning that several of the distressed homes that you find may require foundation repair. This is a trade service you want to have on your team regardless of how frequent or infrequent their services are needed. You want to have a good and reliable plumber on your team. Very often, a plumber can be the reason why you spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars trying to remedy plumbing issues. So a good plumber is an essential piece to having a successful real estate team. You also want to have an electrician. Whether the work is large or small in scope, electricity is not something that you want to bring on a non-licensed person to handle because the smallest issue can create major problems. And you don't want to deal with your house burning down for someone improperly wiring an electrical outlet. So you want to have a licensed electrician on your team for when needed. Now, if you're a general contractor or an investor that likes to reconfigure houses, you definitely want to have a framer and a drywall person to be part of your team. If you have someone that is investor friendly or has investor friendly prices, that can make reconfiguring a house manageable versus you paying retail rates that can be a complete budget buster. So that's a good one to have on your team if you're doing major renovation projects. You definitely want to have a painter. Most distressed properties that require renovation at some point will require either some or major painting to be done. So it's good to have a trade painter on your team And a trade painter is much different than someone who claims they can paint. And I gotta tell you, there is an art and a technique to painting. It is not as simple as grabbing a brush and slapping some paint on the wall. A good painter has techniques, trades, and tips that they use to efficiently and effectively paint a project to make it look picturesque. All right? You want to have a good general handyman. So a handyman is someone that does a lot of odds and end works. You want to be able to bring someone in that can do some of the more odds and ends that doesn't require a licensed person or a retail company to come in and do something that's simple in nature that will result in a big price tag. So a general handyman is good when you need odds and ends stuff done that will typically be part of your punch list. You also want to have a landscaper. And this is one of the unsung heroes of a renovation team. Think about what is important to a potential buyer or renter when you're looking to get rid of your house. Curb appeal. And curb appeal largely consists of the presentation, which includes landscaping. So if your house is not properly landscaped, regardless of how well it's been renovated, painted, how well you've done accessorize the exterior, if it doesn't have a good landscaping appeal, that may take away everything that you've done to the house in an initial perception of your project. So with that said, I'm going to circle back to one of the easier ways to go about building your real estate team. And we're going to start with the myRE360